Hi, and thank you for watching. Welcome to How To Action Time. My name is Matt. I'm your host. I'm the guy teaching you stuff here. So let's say your Mac's hard disk is full, and you will certainly know because it'll start to tell you, it'll start to bother you a lot if it gets even close to being full. Once it is pretty full, and you get the notice your startup disk is full, you might not even want to restart your computer. Your computer does need some space for storage just to boot up. So if you're already booted up, you probably do not want to restart. You want to avoid that, or you'll be stuck taking a tougher troubleshooting method. So when people get in this situation, they've got to free up some space. Well, what are some ways that we can free up space? Now, there's a couple ways to identify where is all this space being what's filling up my drive. What stuff is lurking in the digital depths of my computer. One way that a lot of people might do is go into the Apple menu, say about this Mac, and click on storage. This can be a little helpful. This is really just going to tell you what types of stuff, and I haven't really found this to be very accurate all the time. Even after deleting some items, this might not update until after you've restarted. Its accuracy is getting better with every release of Mac OS X, but I think they've got a little ways to go with this. So there's another method that you can use that actually doesn't require any third-party software. There are some good pieces of software out there that can help you pinpoint what's taking up all this space. You can actually just do this with the Finder. So if I open up a Finder window, and I'm going to actually need two of these. And there's a reason for that. So I want to look in the whole computer and search for stuff, but I also want to look in a very particular hidden location that's out of view. So in one window, we're going to select it, we're going to go to the Go menu and then go to Computer. Now again, most people's situations are a little different. Most people are probably just going to have like a Macintosh HD and not all these other drives connected. I've got quite a few here. Double click on that and we want to go into List View mode. If you want to do a shortcut for this little guy, it's Command 2. From here, you can just actually unfold your stuff. And we want to go to the little gearbox here and say Show View Options. Calculate all sizes. Now, normally your Mac is going to just show folders as being these little lines. It's not going to tell you how big everything is because that's extra work for it to do. So it's not going to do it unless you really want it to. So in this case, I had it calculate everything out. Now this gives me a good idea of what's taking up so much space. If you click on size over here, you can have the biggest stuff put on top. Okay, so for me, pictures is taking up the most space. Now for a lot of people, their photo library is going to be the biggest thing in their pictures folder. If you happen to see a photos library as well as an iPhoto library, there's going to be another episode for you. We're not going to go over that just now, but take a look for that. Beyond this, you might add all this stuff up and realize that there's still some space missing. And that's because there's another hidden location that's in your user folder. So in the second window, if you go to the Go menu and you hold down the Option key, and look what just appeared. Library. It's a hidden little thing. So this is a user library. Now, normally you don't want to be digging through here, because if you start moving or removing things, very possible you will not be able to start up the computer anymore. So you want to be careful. This is normally where you would find a swarm of bees, so you don't want to be going in here unless you really know what you're doing. Doing this for demonstration purposes, more or less. Again, in here, we're going to say Show View Options. Say Calculate All Sizes. And it's going to take a few minutes for your computer to calculate how big all of these folders are. Now, there's one thing in particular that we're going to be looking for in here, and that is iPhone backups. This is a very common thing that people have on their computer that can help free up space. So while that's looking, I'm going to go into iTunes. I'm going to show you the real good place for you to be looking at that. So in iTunes, if we go to Preferences, and you go out under Devices here, here's a phone backup right here. Now, right here, I can see when it was backed up. I can see the serial number, the IMEI information like that, but here's where you can delete it and free up that space. So if you had a 16 gig iPhone, a 32 gig iPhone, and it was absolutely full, you back it up to the computer, you're going to be taking up quite a bit of space. Not necessarily all the things on your phone are going to end up in the backup, so it's normal that your backup for your phone won't be the same size. The other thing you can look for in iTunes, movies and TV shows. So if we go to your library, you can see my wonderful selection here. I can watch Barbie Fairytopia right after watching Alien 3. In our library, you'll notice I've got these little cloud icons next to some of the movies, but not all of them. So the cloud button means it's not actually on the computer. This one has it missing. So these Alien movies here, I've actually got downloaded onto the computer. Movies generally can be about 3 to 6 gigabytes a piece, so that can actually add up quickly. If you delete a movie from your library that you had purchased from iTunes, you can download it again at a later time. Now, it's not up to me or Apple to keep track of where you're getting your movies from. That's your deal. So if you delete a movie that you've gotten from some other place, don't get mad at me, you deleted your stuff. Moving on, TV shows, another place. Again, look for the little cloud button. So any of these TV shows that don't have the cloud, you can just select it, hit delete on the keyboard, and you'll want to move it to the trash when it asks you. For a lot of people, that is going to be enough to clear up a little bit of space. Now, from there, it's really up to you to be going through your user folder, and this is where all your stuff is. So go through it. Delete stuff you don't need. If you don't know what something is, you're the one that put it there, so it's probably safe to get rid of. If you end up getting rid of something that you needed, well, that's why backups are important. So make sure you're backing up before doing this, just to ensure you're not clearing away. This can be intimidating to go through your stuff and trying to decide what you need and what you don't need. But for the most part, as long as you're not removing anything from your applications folder, you should be okay. Now, in our library folder here, it looks like it finally got done telling me how big everything is. Now, you can see here's where we can see how much my email is taken up. Now, this is something that might be categorized as documents or other, but we can see my mail. I've got 39 gigs of mail. So that means I probably get a lot of stupid pictures of people's food or pets or whatever. That's all right, but in general, email doesn't take up a whole lot of space, but when people start attaching different things to the email, it can start adding up quite a bit. So this is something I would want to clean up in the mail application or signing into, whatever the email service is, Google, Yahoo, etc. So at the top here, I've got one called Application Support. A lot of applications store things that they need in here, and it's kind of in a hidden spot where people aren't going to be messing with it. Now, here's this folder called Mobile Sync, and if we open that up, this is one called Backup. This is actually where your iPhone backups go. So as you can see, I had the one phone backup, and it's 51 gigs of stuff. So as you can see, and I don't want to delete it from here. This is probably not the best way to do it because iTunes may or may not know that you've gotten rid of it. So it's going to be wise to delete it from iTunes. Again, this is a way to identify what's taking up all the space on your computer, so you can then make an informed decision on what to get rid of. I hope that helps clarify a few things for some people. Thank you for watching, and until next time, have a good one.